So you're a business and you're looking to move on in your marketing, level up, put yourself out there. You're seeing all these different terms getting thrown around: videographer, content creator, video production company, and you're kind of wondering, I don't even know what I should get, what matters. They're charging me $1 million. They throw all these terms around and it feels like they're just selling me a bunch of stuff and I don't even understand what any of it means or how long it takes them to do it or what the market value is, right? You then decide, hey, I'm gonna hit up like 10 different people and they all have a completely different process and give you all sorts of different numbers, and you're just sitting there like if somebody rung your head with a bell. I'm going to try my best to break it down for you. I'm Cam. I own a video production company here in the Orlando area, and I do focus on working B2B with businesses, so I have a bit of experience with the trials and tribulations that they go through. So you got basically 3 options when it comes to video people or trying to hire somebody to help you market your business. You have the person who is a videographer. As I've mentioned in other videos on this channel, which you could see this one right here, as to why one video costs $500 and the other one costs $2,000 or $5,000. There's a large gamut of videographers. A lot of them, their main job and their main objective is honestly to just go out there and film, and they package all of the footage, or they just give you the raw footage and they hand it off to you. They're not really trying to do strategy or all these other things that come along with marketing. Honestly, most of the time when you reach out to a video person, that's what they are. They are a video person. They don't know anything about SEO. They don't know anything about websites. They don't know anything about even taking the videos that they make and putting them onto ads. They don't know any about that. They don't know nothing about nobody. They're just trying to film content, give it to you, hand it off, be on your merry way. Then there's the video production company. These people will help you more with strategy. They'll help you come up with an idea, packaging, and all these different things, right? But they have more overhead, probably have several people that work on the team, maybe even have a studio. Some of them might not. But this kind of levels up, it balloons the scope of what they are able to do for you and the things that they're able to offer, right? Those people will they'll charge you more. Like those packages, or I would say they're probably, like you're probably taking the baseline video production costs and then adding several thousands on top. So, you're looking at like $5 to $20,000 for some not basic, but like for a creative strategy and creative positioning package, right? That's when you'll get into those eye-watering numbers where you as a business owner, you're like, they quoted me $20,000, because I've gotten that before. They don't really understand the gamut and they don't understand the explanation of this. Then they're like a little confused. They're like, okay, I don't know how we got that eye-watering $20,000 digit. That's how they come up with that. When I say video production company, I'll do like a / marketing company. There are marketing companies that sometimes include video and photography and content, but they also just focus on strategizing and doing the marketing side, which is things like SEO, Google ads, YouTube ads, meta ads, and all that. And then if you take all 3 of those, there are combinations of everything, where it'll be like a videographer that does SEO and they do marketing, and then they have like a video production company and they're like a marketing company and they're trying to sell you a little bit of everything. If I were a small business, I would try to stay away from somebody that gets into all of that, because in my opinion and in my experience, unless they have a massive team, in which case, now they're going to give you an eye-watering number if they have a massive team, right? Like where you're going to be like, oh my God, that's a ton of money. Unless they are a huge team that can actually provide all that, the jack of all trades agency like that, like they're doing all these different things and they don't have a huge team. I would personally view that as a little bit of a red flag, because I just think, how good can they possibly be at all these different things? Because I know what it takes to be good at SEO. I know what it takes to be good at copywriting and to be good at Google ads and meta ads and all these different things, right? If they just offer like everything, I would see that as a little bit of a red flag. Again, unless they have a huge team, and then that's a little different, because they might have like the person doing sales, they might have, maybe they're doing the sales, but that they have a team of people working with them. Otherwise, it's like, okay, they're going to be spread way too thin, and how good can that product possibly be? You know what I mean? So I'd be a little weary weary of somebody that is too jacks of all trade, and you're kind of like, I don't know. This goes with budget, because if you have a rather small budget and you're not in that 20K a month or whatever figure in marketing, then you're going to be kind of just trying to get the best that you can get for a more budget-friendly price, right? Now take all of that I just said and throw in a magical new creation, this is like kind of a rather new thing, and that would be the term content creators. Content creators are not particularly visually skilled. In fact, they probably shoot a lot of videos like this one where it's more raw. There's not really like a whole bunch of gear. There's not a bunch of cuts. There's probably not like color grading, or like they probably will show up with either a phone or some sort of prosumer device, right? Like they're not going to show up with like a whole rig and D filters and polarizers and whatever. Like they're not going to show up with the whole 9 yards like a videographer or a video agency or even a marketing agency. Sometimes the people who advertise themselves as a marketing agency, they don't really shoot high tier video anyways, but it'll be a little bit above the quality of what a content creator will produce. However, in this new day and age, a content creator might be sufficient for what you need for your marketing needs. For example, if you're a restaurant, you don't really need high quality video, you just need to get people through the door, and a lot of times that is accomplished via a UGC person, which is user generated content, right? So if you get enough people to just come into your store and essentially show how cool your shop is or whatever, and they're just shooting it on their phone, that is sufficient content to get people through the door. I'm still trying to educate myself on what these content creators charge, so I can't say exact digits or talk too much about how they structure their packages. I know that sometimes you can hire one-off UGC creators, which, like I said, is essentially content creators. Sometimes you can hire them for a couple $100 just to do like a clip, just to do like an iPhone video. I'm sure the ones that have large followings will charge you more than that. But that is a technique, though. If you're a restaurant and you get a couple of these content creators to come in to essentially make videos, especially if they have a super localized following. So, for example, I'm in Orlando, right? If you found, let's say, 10 content creators and they have followings for Orlando, and you told them, hey, I'll pay you, what is your rate, and you can get free food or whatever the service you're offering is, right? That is a total valid technique, and that might work way better than traditional marketing and to doing SEO and all this stuff, right? You'd kind of have to have a product that is, in my opinion, something like food or an activity. It would be a little bit harder to do that approach, I think, with like a dentist, because as a dentist, you want like to seem professional, and then it just doesn't seem genuine if somebody's like, oh, check out this dentist, and you know, like it would be a little weird. It might work. I'm not judging. Let me know if that kind of approach has worked for you. Particularly a strategy I've seen businesses do is so there's specifically this area called Clermont here in the Central Florida region. There's this company that's like a Clermont Adventure Boats or something. I was just lurking them because I personally shoot a lot of sports and activities and stuff. So I was just lurking them to see like if they had a video person or who they were working with, how they were making their content. And I saw something that I want to be a little, like the creative part of me wants to be judgy. The person who is attached to the industry and is somebody that works in the industry wants to be judgy and be like upset by it. But the business person is like, okay, this is pretty genius. What they do is they'll offer you like essentially a free rental for the boat. I think they typically would cost like $300 to rent this boat. They will offer you a free rental in exchange for you to make like a short piece of UGC content for them. The part of me that is a creative thinks that that's sleazy because I'm like, man, you're essentially kind of like not paying people so that they can promote your brand. But then the business side of me is like, okay, well, you know, you are giving them the free ride, which maybe they might have wanted to do anyways. Maybe they wanted to do the free ride anyways, so making a short video that doesn't have to be too complex or anything. It's basically just a TikTok. They're getting a free ride, which they would have paid for anyways, so you're kind of doing them a service. It's like a symbiotic relationship. I think that approach is interesting. I don't think you could necessarily get away with that other business types. I mean, maybe you could honestly, like, I don't know, maybe like if you're a restaurant and you're like, hey, like I'll give you $100 meal for free or something. I don't know. I think that approach could work with other businesses, but you'd have to kind of be a little strategic with how you do that. And yeah, I don't know. I guess I have mixed opinions on that route. Like I said, it just like the creative part of me is like salty about it because it's like just seems kind of messed up to kind of exploit people. But at the same time, I'm like, maybe they wanted to go on that boat ride anyways, and now they don't have to pay. So don't hate the player, hate the game. You know? So that's basically my general kind of explanation of what the different video people and content and whatever is. So if you're a business owner looking to hire somebody to help you promote your business, maybe that cleared a couple things up. I'm trying to just give you a little recap to what's going on. And, yeah, let me know what you think down below. I'd love to have some discussion, some ideas, thoughts. Tell me what your experience has been with a content creator, video production company, or marketing agency. I'd love to know.